Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are again. Another episode of Listening Sessions here in the EO Zoom. Listening Sessions is a first listens program where myself, Baxter, and my co-host Mazzi listen to an album that either just came out or is just about to come out. Mazzi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm in these New York streets trying to figure out my life, but I'm here.
Yeah, you're like our man on the scene. You know what I'm saying? And now we have Mazzi with the report. No,
like Pablo Guzman, if you guys remember him.
I have no idea who that is, but I believe you 100%.
I remember that dude.
Yeah. Tonight on the program, we're going to be listening to the album Moses Herman Jacobs, which is a collaboration project with McAlamine, Sir Tumes, Long Division, and the producer, Professor Brian Oblivion. How are you guys? Everyone's here except for Sir Tumes. Let's start with McAlamine. McAlamine, how are you?
I am good. I'm chilling.
Did I mispronounce any of those names?
I believe it's Sir Toombs.
Okay.
Pretty sure it's Sir
Facts. I felt it in my soul. I was like, I'm fucking it up. Sir Toombs. Luckily, he's the one that's not here. My bad.
He gonna see you on FB, yo.
Right. No, but how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, man. You know, we're here. We you know, it's been a long day, long week. I had my second shot of COVID. Endured that this weekend. But
congratulations.
I'm glad I got it.
Are you scared? Are you scared?
I mean, I've been, the mind control system hasn't really kicked in yet. Mine's a little glitchy, but it's all right. I'm working it out.
Real quick, I know who you are, but the people out there might not be aware. You're one of the hardest working people I know on multiple levels. Give people the elevator pitch of McAlamine, aka formerly hired gun.
Yeah, all right. McAlamine, a.k.a. Hired Gun, People's Champ, H-Rap Gun, H.G. Wells, Brooklyn, New Jersey all day, educator, curator, hip-hop MC, international cultural ambassador for the culture.
This is the short version.
That's the short version. Yeah, I've hit every continent rapping except for Antarctica and Australia, and I'm doing those shits in 2022 after this COVID. So,
Yo, me too, bro. Me too. Those are the two that I haven't hit.
Let's work it out. Mazzi, me and you, let's do it. Let's work it out.
I've been thinking about Antarctica, bro. We gotta go. I was thinking about it the other day.
You just gotta hit the northernmost tip, spit a couple of raps, and then get the fuck out of there.
That's it.
Run out. We good. Yeah, there you go.
Australia, the only thing that's stopping us is they're on lockdown. But Antarctica, that's some next shit.
We can do that. Yeah, there's no COVID. It's too cold for COVID.
Right, we gotta figure that out.
We'll work it out.
Also on the project, we got Long Division. Long Division, how are you, sir?
Happy to be here. Good to see you.
It's good. It's good to see you too. Tell the people who may not be aware who Long Division is.
Long Division. Writer,
amazing name, by the way. Amazing name.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Mazzi. Actually, I was about to say, some of my formative experiences going to open mics and stuff in New York. I remember seeing you with the group called the Untouchables a long time ago. Do you recall?
Oh my God, bro! Yo,
came out with a live drummer during All That. It was like the All That event. It kind of blew my mind at the time. So,
yo, that's like
what you didn't know, Mazzi. This is your life.
Hey,
oh my God, that's easily 26 years ago, bro. Easily.
23 maybe. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So I'm happy to be here. It's
we're happy to have you repping Jersey. Are you from Jersey?
Originally, I'm from New Rochelle.
Okay. What's up? Also, we have the producer, Professor Brian Oblivion. How are you, sir?
Actually, I'm not Professor Brian Oblivion.
Okay.
I'm the producer, but it's more like the Puff Daddy like producer. Where I just brought the people together and help make the album by bringing them together.
There's nothing wrong with Puffy producing, bro. I take pride in my Puffy producing.
Yeah.
Stick your chest out, bro. Yeah. Stick your chest out.
He's the Diddy of this, but he didn't leave us in the lurch like Black Rob. That's the
so let me ask a question. Is Professor Brian Oblivion is someone else?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, he couldn't make it. I think he's trying to make it, but he can't make it. So I tried to rep him by putting his albums in the back there and like rocking Golden State cap to represent where he's from.
Facts.
He's the Bay.
Got it. And you're the mastermind. You're the orchestrator of this whole caper. I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah, I wouldn't use those words exactly, but yeah.
And does somebody want to give us the quick elevator pitch of who Sir Toombs is?
What the fuck is an elevator pitch, bro? I never heard that.
You've never heard of an elevator pitch? So like
No.
let's say
I'll let
you
you
want to
explain.
pitch something, right? Let's say you want to pitch a script, you want to pitch a TV show to an executive, right? The thing is, like, when you try to climb the ladder, you might get in the elevator with them. So if you let's say you get in an elevator with George Lucas,
I get it.
you have
Okay, got it.
until the elevator
yeah.
opens to sell them on the idea.
Got it.
The
Got it.
idea
That's
is
an
something that
elevator
is quick, something you can do from moving from a floor to a
Right.
floor to the time
Right,
it takes
right.
to wait
That's
for the elevator.
Right.
So Sir Toombs is a Renaissance man. He
Facts.
is a film director, actor,
Yep.
music producer, as
True.
well as MC, writer, educator, as well as a great philosopher. He has done it all, does it all. Has
He does
traveled the
think
world
very
as
deeply.
well. Has traveled the world as well. Lived in several countries. True Renaissance man.
Yes. Shout out to him, yo. Shout out to Sir Toombs. Also, a very, very poignant Facebook pontificator. With that said, though, the album Moses Herman Jacobs. What inspires this name?
I think
God,
Jacques
run
gonna
it.
have to.
Run it.
Yeah,
Want me to take that?
Yeah, take that.
please do.
Yeah. Well, what inspired it was just we didn't have a name for the album officially when it was done. It was really just a collection of, I don't say collective songs, but like it was very pointed direction or a narrative of songs. And just after listening to the album, we heard a certain theme come up through the songs, and we just felt that Moses Herman Jacobs was probably the best way to illustrate that. For several reasons. One is it's three names, right? Moses Herman Jacobs, three different individuals.
Oh yeah.
All directed, all have very deep ties to the city and I guess urban planning in some real ways, right? Well, Robert Moses, everyone knows, right? I always get the second dude's name off, but it's Justin Herman, who helped like change the landscape of San Francisco. Same way, maybe not the same exact way, but in a very real way, very similar way that Moses did. And Jane Jacobs is like known as, the person who sort of like fought back and pushed back against a lot of the urban planning ideas that Robert Moses was sort of calling for. So in some ways, she's like, I guess the hero for some people, probably for most people. But so you have like three different people, and Moses represents our side, I guess the New York side, and Herman representing the West Coast side, right? Yeah. Which is where Brian, our producer, is from, and where I was before moving back here.
Right. Here being the beautiful city of Brooklyn.
Harlem.
Oh yes, right.
Yeah.
Sorry, the beautiful city of Harlem.
I
My
live in Brooklyn
birthplace
too. Oh yeah, yeah.
I gotta say, this album cover is very provocative. It's so dope. It's so like non-cliche of what album covers sort of are expected to be, and even the name. This is a very like unique and just different. I like it. I like the visual already. I love the packaging. Is there any besides the connection to urban planning, besides the connection to the two cities, is there any other overarching theme of the record?
Well, I think when we were doing the record, and this is something very unique because it's a group project. It's something that Jacques and Brian kind of brought all of us together. We have kind of connections to. And I'd say like the only bonding thing, and like jump in Long Division and Jacques, please, but like we wanted to tell a story, and we were using the city sort of as the inspiration. So as you kind of go through each of our songs, almost like vignettes, it's really kind of us sort of using the city as an inspiration to kind of like create these characters that sort of are dealing with the city and the changes in their own ways. So dope. So it's a lot of it, but it's a deep listen. You have to like really listen to it because it's there's some abstraction. Like it's definitely something where you're gonna hear and you're gonna like, oh, this is dope, but it's not a cookie. Like it's a meal. You got to sit with it. You got to like pull out your fork and knife. You got to get to each little each section to really kind of
got to put away your vegetables.
Yeah. But it's really dope the way it's kind of all strung together in terms of just like these characters kind of dealing with the city and our kind of interpretation of what those things are through those characters and the storytelling.
So speaking of the creative aspect of it, did you guys, when you were creating songs, did you guys have sort of an idea of what the song was going to be before you engaged it, or were you kind of all just writing verses to different beats and then coming together to kind of flesh them out? Like, you know, was there already if we're talking architecture, if we're talking about city planning, was there already a blueprint for the songs before you guys laid your verses to it, or were you kind of just building off of each other?
We met online, basically. We weren't all in the same room together until we actually laid the vocals down. So all the COVID kind of planning and stuff that people have been doing, we were doing that like when we made the album.
Wait,
6 years ago.
But wait, did you guys record together?
We did.
We recorded together, but we wrote.
Dope.
We wrote via Google Chat and this platform called Basecamp.
Mm-hmm.
The idea was there's no posse cuts on it. It's all individual solo tracks, and each of us got 3 songs. Again, that number 3.
Whoa! I did not know that.
So within each of those 3 songs, we tell a story with like 3 acts basically of these characters that we established. But the characters don't interact. It's like that movie Babel, if you've ever seen it, where the stories kind of like wrap around each other without actually merging together. But the themes are what merge the stories.
Right. Is it a consecutive? Is it like Macal's 3 and then like your 3? Also, it's intermingled
around, and there's no real. It's not like it's not really structured very simply like Macal. It's
right.
all,
This is dope. I gotta say, the more I like, me and Macal and some brothers that we talk to have a ongoing group chat, and like Macal sent us the album and everything, and everybody's listened to it. I purposely didn't listen to it so I could experience it here, and the more I hear you guys talk about it, the more excited I am about hearing it. This sounds so freaking dope. Speaking of those brothers, shout out to Radar Ellis and Victor V. Jones, who are joining us in the chat.
What it do?
With that said, though, I think it's time to get to music. Is there anything that you guys want to say or let us know before we dive in?
Just enjoy it.
One quick thing. I want to say a big shout out to Brian, Professor Brian Oblivion, who can't be here, who did make all the beats and took a lot of time to construct it and make the album sound the way it does. So I know he would want to say some words about that, and hopefully, my presence can help in some way.
Of course.
Yeah, big shout out to him.
Shout out to Brian Oblivion. All right, here we go. The first track is called Prelude. Is this just an interlude or intro? You're on mute, Macal.
It's just an introduction.
Okay, so we'll play the first 2, Prelude, and that's gonna go into Papa Said. Here we go. The album Moses Herman Jacobs by the collaborative efforts of McCallumine, Sir Toombs, Long Division, and the Professor Brian Oblivion, and also Jack Hez.
Oh, Jacques.
Sorry.
Yeah. All good.
I'm shooting 50% from the field. Let me know if it's too loud or if it's too low.
And so man in his search for something that is beyond all the measure has been caught, trapped, deceived. Because after all, what has society to offer?
Pop to pop. Papa said the man was work. Pop to pop. Papa said the man was work. Pop to pop. Papa said the man was worth. Pop the pop. Papa said the man was working. How you provide emotions off a weak luxury if you had the time. Hear his footsteps in back of my mind. Attempt to wear his shoes in ways I can't define. All subliminal baggage of flight. Carried on for each journey, overhead is my plight. And when he died, I gained a burden and name. Title and deed, the house that held all his pain. And what was transferred from others before. Unresolved, restless to the core. Lineage to chore, cause you're defined by the time you as a youngin' stop walking on fours. Governed by laws you ain't right, but your true definition of this life. It's that destiny right, or the fate of all of these sins. Sequence of this repetition, repeating again. You follow, know in circles when they're talking. I'm generally confused when I don't have a line of chalk. Uniform, order, system, and task. Talking in a weapon, bullseye I can blast. Like a long range tucked in my seclusion. Nothing but my thoughts, my focus, no intrusion. Only wrath I give inclusion. Cold steel the field with bit, I find a fusion. Pop to pop, pop to pop. Papa said the man was worth. Pop to pop, pop to pop. Papa said the man was worth. Pop to pop, Papa said the man was worth. Pop to pop. And it was a day much like this. Clouds with paintings, heavens and bliss. That I committed this flesh to a nation. And I defended under any provocation. Dishonor and threat to the sovereignty of our land, some hold content. And I walked away from home a boy. Became someone else's toy. Defend the home that I never do see. My connection is afar, how I like it to be. Rather the memory than my everyday. So again I say farewell, be on my way. Orders in uniform, destination set by your force. Who won't tell me their intent? But for me it's no concern, cause Papa said the man was working till you burn. Pop to pop, pop to pop. Papa said the man was worth. Pop it out, pop to pop to pop. Papa said the man was worth. Pop to pop to pop to pop. Papa said the man was worth. Pop to pop to pop. Papa said the man was worth. Pop to pop to pop. Papa said the man was worth. Pop to pop to pop to pop to pop. Papa said the man was worth. Pop. Papa said the man was worth.
All right. That was track one. So I wasn't able to discern, but I've nailed it down the two people. That was either Sir Toombs or Long Division. Which one of you guys was that?
That was Toombs.
Okay, got it. One, I don't know. I've met Sir Toombs before under different circumstances. I don't know if I've ever heard him rap, which is crazy, right? But his voice is freaking on it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole time I'm like, yo, his voice sounds crazy, and his flow on it is it's very reminiscent to me of like Public Enemy, but more like artistic than militant. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely loved it. What was the thought process behind having that be the first song?
That is definitely a professor.
That's a Jacques question.
Yeah,
I
was going to say that's really
Brian
Professor
Yeah.
Oblivion. He sequenced everything.
Okay.
He put all the sequences
It
together.
makes sense to me, though. I mean, once you hear the other tracks, it's a good opener. You know?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
definitely.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it. I'm trying to speak for Brian, so I'm not sure how accurate I am, but it's sort of like what Long Division said. We thought it was a good opener. And, I think albums like they have a good opener. It just really sets the mood. It's like, all right, you're in it, you're gonna stay in it because like first track hits you, and now you want to listen to the rest. Like, oh, I definitely want to hear the second track. What happens after this?
And it also lends itself into what Mikhal's saying about it not being like sort of fast food listening, because there's a lot going on in that song alone. I'll even be honest. It took me a minute to kind of like find my bearings, because like it's like the name of the song is Papa Said, right? But he's kind of flipping the Papa to like also like the sound of a gun, like pop to pop, which is already crazy artistic. But then even that second verse is very it's like a metaphor about, not even a metaphor, it's like going to the army, right? But it's like it's done in such a beautiful way. Very dope song. And I'm excited to see where else this album's gonna go. The next track is Off the Block. Which one of you artistic fantastic gentlemen of a Calamine song? All right, so let's anything you want to say before we get into it?
No, just get into it.
Let it speak for itself.
Let's get into it.
Here we go.
Around the block, now I'm pushing off the block, so I'm moving past the block. I wanna stop my shot. Top of the world, not a worry in sight. Left this damn block behind, I was right at my height. But see, no one tells you when it's your time or where the line is. Did you cross it, or you behind it? At some point you get used to the blindness. I couldn't see the kindness, a headlight shining. It doesn't mean you're timeless, cause you never owned the clock. I went into shock after I found out silver linings had been out of stock. My interior designing is off, I'm lost to gray pattern, dead in the soft that's homemade. While you're on the straight as far away as possible. Momentum was lost because of potholes. Straight out of my lane, forgot toes. And no easy pass, it's easy when on the gas riding. Hitting the brakes, have you sliding. So back in town on another mission, wondering what I've been missing since I lost the crown. I've been around the block, now I'm pushing off the block, so I'm moving past the blocks. They wanna stop my shot. I've been around the block, now I'm pushing off the block, so I'm moving past the blocks. Don't wanna stop my shot. Probable prodigal son returned sour, fell from the ivory tower. You can tell he's well aware he's a few minutes into his darkest hour. Now or never is rarely a clever outcome. Outsourced streams means that when they leave, he is nothing left but meat to be devoured. If you believe Starscream was a coward and Chuck D&D planted seeds to fight the power, then it's not hard to see the heart on his sleeve. Enter one bar then lead, then another charge up, hard up. No forest, no trees, just a large circle encompassing lost direction. He knew the answer, lost the question. Check in and check out, check spent. Rent's now in the hands of a barman, beauty queen, and some Guinness stout. In about 4 seconds, a teacher will start to speak my philosophy. If you find it, then you'll seek. The meek shall inherit the dirt. Shit is deep. This was overheard after work. I've been around the block, now I'm pushing off the block, so I'm moving past the block. They wanna stop my shot. I've been around the block, now I'm pushing off the block, so I'm moving past the block. They wanna stop my shot. I've been around the block, now I'm pushing off the block, so I'm moving past the block. They wanna stop my shot. I've been around the block, now I'm pushing off the block, so I'm moving past the block. Don't wanna stop my shot.
Well, I tell them it's a place full of dirt and fuck up. Dirt, they say. What's that? It's fuck up. We got all them fuckers up here, and they're good, and they're free, and they're often. I intend to
That's fucking fire. I love it so much. There's so much to talk about. One, Professor Oblivion killing it on the beats. You know what I'm saying? It's such a dope balance of like, it's almost cinematic, right? Like, you know, the two that I've heard so far is very painting this like urban picture. It feels like the city. It feels like a city, you know. But Macau, you got busy on that song, but that second verse, you got super busy. The meek shall inherit the dirt was one of my favorite lines. Knew the answer but lost the question is so fucking dope. And shocked when you found out silver linings were out of stock. Those are some of my favorite lines from the thing. What was your general sort of intent writing the song?
Yeah, well, first off, I gotta give, you know, and Jacques gave him, you know, props at the beginning. I gotta keep giving him flowers because when the beat's dope, definitely, it writes itself, and he gave us some really amazing production to rock over.
Yeah, were you guys fighting over the beats?
You know what? It's funny. Like I I don't remember us doing that because we had very different. We luckily we have very different tastes. So
Okay.
like the beats that Long Division like, I wasn't necessarily into, and vice versa, and the ones that Tombs like, so on and so forth.
Right.
But
I like that beat though. I like that.
That's what made me ask the question. I was like, I wanted to rap over that one.
Well, good. I don't have the guru. Not the guru. I don't have. Yeah, I don't have the Nas disease. I can pick beats. Good. Nah, you know what? It's going back to what we were talking about, right? So like, and all of this was really organic. When we came up with the concepts for things, it was really just us sort of like listening to the music, talking with Brian, talking with each other in the hanging out. And we kind of came away with just like, all right, well, let's create a character. So like my character, the idea was, and I wrote it in a linear way, but it actually worked out the way Brian sequenced the song. So this song was actually supposed to be the end because my character's now coming back after leaving. So especially in that second verse, what you're seeing him basically defeated, like just ass out.
It's interesting. That's the opposite of what I got, and maybe that was the intent, right? Because like, especially paired with Sir Tombs' record, right? Like Sir Tombs is like, I feel like there's this person who's going to war, and when I think of people going to war like from the city, it's oftentimes because they're trying to better their life, right? You know, and you know. Usually in the city, like maybe the middle of the country, there's these grandiose ideas of like being a soldier and being a hero. But you know, where we come from, it's like, yo, you want to not be poor? You want to, you want to go to school and get some health care?
Yeah.
And that paired with your situation was like someone who's leaving the block, but maybe not under the same circumstances, is kind of where I was feeling that was coming from. But it's interesting to have your insight onto like it being a sort of a story in reverse because of the way it's sequenced.
Yeah, I mean, because even in the second verse, it's like, probable prodigal son returned sour, fell from the ivory tower. You could tell he's well aware he's a few minutes into his darkest hour. Now or never is rarely a clever outcome. So it's like the idea was literally like he was at the top, and he never really wanted to be here.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I kind of took, it's not biographical, but I took it kind of from my personal experience leaving Jersey, where it was like, I need to make it.
I felt that, you know, and maybe that's because like me and you have a personal relationship, but specifically in line, like fell from the ivory tower. And I know you, if I might be wrong, but I feel like you've had like not a complicated, but an interesting relationship with like schooling, like, you know, and higher education. You know what I'm saying? Because I think you've said your dad wanted you to be a lawyer before, right?
That is correct. And you know, you're right. It is complicated.
Right.
So yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's so dope. All right, let's see where we're going on this ride. The next one we have is Candles. Is this Long Division? Is this you?
This is Long Division.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. All right. Anything you want to say before we get into Candles?
This is the first one I wrote to. And I didn't really know where I was going with it, but this is the first. I didn't really, I wasn't as attached to the order. I guess so I kind of made them modular enough where Brian could move them around. And but yeah, this was the first one I wrote, so I'll see what you think.
Yeah, let's light this candle. All right, let's go.
Viciousness of men, the listlessness of trends and the perniciousness of ends. Thoughts anarchic, forming in the apartment, scribbling cityscapes on a pre-treated parchment. Worn from the grind, need to switch up the scenery. Forget the public life and rush into the greenery. Abandon all logic, just to frolic in the bucolic solace. Strike up a chorus in the forest by a cottage. We dabble in the dark arts and white magic. Black rags and red masks and scraps of white satin. Life's pageant was stagnant prior to the advent of the white rabbit. Spattered caskets and black acid. Flickering candles, shimmering chords, channeling worlds, handling mandolin gourds, wands, swords,
cups, major arcanum. Consult with heavy books and then explain them to the layman. The shaman with the Titanic awakening, prodigious progeny. So like, welcome to the colony. Educate the masses on Charlemagne and Ptolemy. The spear of Antioch and the basics of numerology. The voices from the marsh keep calling me, solemnly follow me. Clouding my awareness like lobotomy. Still we read poetry and cop the local pottery. Using shards of crockery to carve the latest mockery. Dissonant discussions of forbidden subjects uttered by a grinning culprit from a hidden pulpit. The new order borders on morbid tortuous torture. Buzzers congregating on a sacrificial altar. Mortar and pestle, crushing earth into a mulch. Abandon earthly vessels in a gulch and take lunch. Fracture missives leads permissively to wisdom. Do what thou wilt, replace the written prohibitions. Execute the missions, and ball like Rosicrucians. Weekly secret meetings, enervate the elocutions. Do my ablutions and I swallow the pill. I'm a shill in the shale, growing kale on a hill. A sudden yell caused a solution to spill. Sipping pale ale from the skull of a seal. Mutations prevail, past the run of the mill. Yeah, you know the drill, once the thunder's revealed. The blood is congealed within the mutton and meal. Speaking in tongues and left you stuttering still. Pedantics, Brandises, quasi-neo-romantics. Overly frantic with the mad manic antics. Damn, that's just semantic grandstanding. Kidnapped the innkeeper's wife without a ransom.
The parties we used to have. In those days, the public wanted us to look like kings and queens. So we did. So why not? Come on. We were in love with life. We were making more money than we ever dreamed existed. And there was no reason to believe it would ever stop.
Yo, this tape is fire. You know what I'm saying? This is so fire.
And on second thought, you know what? I actually wanted this beat.
Yo, Macau, as soon as it played, I was like, oh, this is the one.
I think I remember that actually.
Yo, Long Division, you floated over that. So freaking dope. I loved your flow. I loved your tone. I loved you letting it breathe whenever that kind of came in. You also it's very verbose, but your sort of dialed back tone and matter of fact way of like delivering it makes it even more impressive. You know what I'm saying? So freaking dope. Couple of bars that I like you said, congregating on something like a sacred altar.
Yeah, buzzards like vultures congregating on sacrificial altar.
Sacrificial altars. You hit this whole scheme at the end where you were like, I'm just a shill in the shell growing kale on the hill. And it was like you were just killing it. Like something about the blood gets congealed. I was like, yo, you showing off, sir.
The blood is congealed in the mutton and meal.
Yeah.
The flow is silly. He's the Skillington on this project. I'm not gonna even front. Like the rhyme schemes, as a connoisseur of rapping, the rhyme schemes.
I think you all are getting busy.
Silly.
It almost makes me sad. I wish there was at least one posse cut because I think you guys all have a similar but different like vibe that I would love to hear like working together in a record. Not that I'm complaining about what I've heard so far, but Long Division. So there's a lot of sort of like cloak and dagger, almost like mysticism going on this record, which fits the tone of the beat marvelously. What was your thought process behind this record?
Well, it was kind of like the idea of at the beginning of the song, which might be easy to miss because it's kind of like acclimating to the syncopation or whatever. But the character is just sort of like worn out from basic urban life and starts kind of fantasizing. He says he's drawing a cityscape on something. I'm a visual artist. I draw. Actually, the background is something I did, so I draw a lot of cityscapes. So, and then he starts kind of daydreaming about like moving out to the country, and then it just sort of becomes like a little bit more ridiculous. Like, oh yeah, we'll go out in the country and we'll buy a cottage, and then we'll start practicing the occult, and then just kind of like accelerate from there. So he just kind of slips into this hedonistic, and like, I mean, I've done some research. I'm not gonna say I dabbled in the occult, but I've done. No, really. I mean, it's not my belief system, but it's something that's always kind of interested me. So
yeah, no, it's fascinating stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, I just kind of incorporated that, and I mean, there's a certain like tongue-in-cheek aspect to it. Like I'm a shill in the shale, growing kale on a hill.
Yeah, no, yeah, you
know what I mean? But but the idea was basically, I mean, I don't know how much of it is a fantasy of his and how much he actually did it, but this is the kind of like hedonistic period of this character's lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like wants to escape everything instead of trying to change the environment. He just wants to escape it and go kind of party. And then at the end, we sampled the Hollywood Babylon, a Kenneth Anger film about the kind of like decadent Hollywood of the 50s.
Mm-hmm. Now this was super dope. I mean, you know, tops straight out the gate, 3 bangers, one right after the other. I love the difference between you guys' style, but I love how it's brought together, you know, so well over Oblivion's beats. Is it?
Can I add one thing?
Yes, of course.
Sorry to cut you off. Yeah. Something Brian did early on, like before. He picked certain beats for each of the MCs. So like he heard them rhyme. He's like, all right, these are the beats that probably work well with Kale. These beats will work well for Long Division, and these are beats that work what he felt would work best for Entume. And then like when we were constructing the album, because he's also a DJ and he DJs a lot of parties and shows and well, not shows but more parties. He also tried to make sure that the album itself had like this, you know, feel to it, right? Where you get in, and then there's like this, you're riding this like you're going on a ride. So
I feel that.
No, not too many breaks in between songs. Like, all right, you hear a song, you go right into the next one. Just keep going and going.
Yeah, one of if maybe the only, not regrets, but problems I have with the format of that we do the show is sometimes the sequencing or the way an album flows is so important. We lose it when we stop and speak between every song. But I like stopping and speaking between every song as well. But you know, oftentimes I'll go back and like listen to the album again just to kind of get that feel when it goes all the way through. We are on track number 5, Windfall. Is this the order? Is it going to be Mtume, okay. So
he switches it up. He switches it up.
And Windfall is I think the interlude also. So you probably want to.
Okay, so we go from Windfall to Nobody's Help. Who's Nobody's Help?
Actually, that's Mtume.
Well, you know, we'll see what we do over here. All right, so here we go. Track 5, Windfall, and track 6, Nobody's Help.
Defender, oppose, close of aggressor, camouflage the pressure, 99 bottles of beer upon the dresser, when you're seen as the devil in your mecca, salt on the wound and the grinder of that pepper, but no rest for the weary, no psychiatric couch for the teary, lose as lose life, that's the theory, see my battlegrounds, then you can be my jury, home is where the hatred is when I'm a civvy, give me a mission, a target and a milli, lock low, rock rows of enemies, my mode, no notes for pros and speeches about our woes. I don't need no help, Stop messing with me, I'm gonna be myself. I don't need your help, I got it all covered, let me be myself. I don't need no help, stop messing with me, I'm gonna be myself. I don't need your help, I got it all covered, let me be myself.
Don't you worry.
Blood in my eyes and twitching my nose. Quiet in ears, thus frantic my toes. Mama like,
you should relax, my boy. Live in love of this house and family joy.
but all I love is stress. One hut, two hut, and gassing up my breath. Gas mask rush of a possible death. Limits of a flesh. Testosterone don't like rest. Not impressed. R&R for me. ROTC. Cold steel weaponry. Decon for thee.
But boy, that ain't natural for man. To like taking life, that's the way to get you in. I wish you never went to that sand. Lost life in that strange land. Go see the picture, man. Born of that
Devil
devil.
that lust defines my place in this world. Homies looking with a shake and a snarl. Can't even keep a girl. Lovey-dovey cute shit aggravates my world. Give me panic over pearls, postal for parks and picnics on the hurl. Order of the uniform, sniper in the curl. And that precise shot that twists him in the twirl. I don't need no help. Stop messing with me, I'm gonna be myself. I don't need your help. I got it all covered, let me be myself. I don't need no help. Stop messing with me, I'm gonna be myself. I don't need your help. I got it all covered, let me be myself. Yo, this album is fire. You guys did a fantastic job.
Yo, listen, I got cut off. Right? So this is the first song I'm hearing. And a few things. First of all, Puffy producer, you did your thing on however you arranged. That shit was crazy, right? That's number one. Number two, I'm a sucker for the little things in rap songs, like the little like ill shit somebody a slick line somebody might say in the intro, or maybe even a little grunt that they might do.
Mm-hmm.
So or a little nuances like that, right? So like in the beat, there was I don't know what it was, a tuba or it was a saxophone. No, it was a tuba or trombone, and it was like that was fucking fire, bro.
Yeah, man.
That shit was crazy.
The production on this record is so it's just stellar because it's not overproduced. It's not like these big bangers, but it has so much personality and there's so much like nuance, and even in the interlude, the way the interlude flowed into the song, fantastic. And if
marvelous.
Yeah, and if what you were saying, if these beats were like kind of like curated for the rappers that rapped on them, fantastic job, because everything that I've heard has brought out the most in the MC. Mtume sounds amazing over this beat.
Brian definitely got his Mad Lib on. He did his Mad Lib. He cooked some stuff up and was like, "Yeah, that's you." Yeah.
Even halfway through the beat, or in the second verse, he's like having a conversation. It's not with himself. It's with, but it's almost like himself, right? It's like his inner monologue or whatever. And then that's Mtume too, right? That's Sir Toombs. Fucking dope. Is this the same character from the other song?
From his first song.
Yeah, same character. So you can see the theme, like
Yeah. It's almost like I don't I, like this is I'll give you my impression of it, and you can tell me if I'm on point or off point. But it seems like this is a character who went off to war, and I don't know if he's back or not, but he's kind of like accepting that this person that he's become or been made is who he is. You know what I'm saying? There's a line where it's like I don't know if verbatim is like human beings shouldn't enjoy killing or like something like that. When he's talking to himself, is like you're not supposed to enjoy killing or something.
I believe
along
that's
those lines.
supposed to be his mother, I think, or
Word.
Oh, the line was like, so real quick, we're on Genius, so it's like, but boy, that ain't natural for men to like take a life. That's the way to get you damned.
Right,
I wish
right.
you never went to that sand. Yeah, it's yeah.
And it even talks to like the toxic masculinity that sort of comes with like becoming that person, because he's like he can't even be in love now because it's kind of like too soft. So dope, yo.
Baxter,
Yo,
I
man,
say, if this is really the first time you've heard this, I mean, I can't. You're nailing everything right off the bat. I mean, it's pretty dense.
Listen, man, I like rappers and I like rap.
Fam, this is wrong division.
The writing is dope. I mean, like it's not. I know I said it was abstract, but the writing is dope. But
this is what we do, man. We analyze. Come on, man.
Right. This is why me and Mazzi came up with the show, because we like experiencing music for the first time, and like there's so much music that you're not gonna get for the first time, but if you really are listening, there's so much that you can grab that first listen. This is fantastic,
and that's why we came here.
Like that. Come on, man.
Super appreciate you guys playing your music for us. Okay, I gotta say, I'm excited. The next song is called Galaxy Rays, which is some shit that's just up my alley.
So yeah, this is the inside joke. This is you'll play it. We'll say it later.
Do it after.
We'll do it
after. Yeah.
Who's Galaxy Rays?
That's me. That's
Long Division.
All right. Here we go. Galaxy Rays, Long Division. This is track number 7.
Skeptical of professional connoisseurs, slack-jawed flaneurs and confessional rockin' tours. I get restless and heckle provocateurs. You look feckless and decadent, popping sores. Unlocking doors masked up like an insurgent. Cursing, probably should go rinse out with detergent. It seems kinda urgent, so dispense with pretense and pretext. Give us all a break like recess. Shake those moody blues and take a ride on the seesaw. I'm never bored and never work like E.D. bored. Too entranced to do a dance with the demon in 3-4. If you can't commit, then go read more.
Word to mom, I'm in my own world. Word to mom, I'm in my own world. Word to mom, I'm in my own world. Galaxy Rays, powerful.
Viable enlightenment diatribe sired in violent environments of Leviathan. Frightening insights of ravenous architects. Written in dim lights of cavernous park index. Ever since the sorcerer's apprentice left the nemesis defenseless, the efforts have been registered as senseless. Speaking of the sentence and get sent back to the benches. Power to the people occupying in the trenches. Trying to manifest a manifold scheme, and the scene sanguinary, but we keep it sanguine. Avoid getting cuffed and keep it hem like Pantene. Got caught off like gangrene and couldn't close out the canteen.
Word to mom, I'm in my own world. Word to mom, I'm in my own world. Word to mom, I'm in my own world. Galaxy Rays, powerful.
I was out of my head, a mess, off an imperative narrative thread. Obsessed with opposition to human bondage, disarmingly charming when bombing. Remain uncommonly fond of retaining knowledge. Turn a rock into a burnished stone and put a pox upon your furnished home. Then burn a poem into the surface of the terror dome. In monochrome, wandering to spend some time alone. I got a song, hey yo, agitate society, defiantly grinning. Run them off and leave the wheels silently spinning. No more propriety and piety's finished. Raise them up until we're undeniably winning.
Word to mom, I'm in my own world. Word to mom, I'm in my own world. Word to mom, I'm in my own world. Galaxy Rays, powerful. Word to mom, I'm in my own world. Word to mom, I'm in my own world. Word to mom, I'm in my own world. Galaxy Rays, powerful.
Yeah, I'm in my own world, and I can't go back to the old world. And I ain't show up to the roll call, and you can't fix that with the phone call. And you can't beat that with the baseball, and you can't split that with the chainsaw, and you can't mill a mold with a demo, and you can't pay the price with the peso, and you can't raid the trap for the
Sir, that might be my favorite joint so far.
That was a bop. That was a bop, bro.
Wow, thank you.
Yo, I got so much. I got to take a breath. Hold on. One. Let me ask you this. Long Division. Your name must be Long Division because that was hard. Yo, that was hard as fuck. Fucking. First, let me ask. How do you feel about choruses? Do you write a lot of choruses?
I don't too often, and it's I was actually listening to that Bronx Dundee album, and I was like really admiring Snagglepuss's chord. Like with this, I came up with the hooks as like well, the first one didn't really have a hook, but
even this hook was kind of sparse, and and I'm like my style. Like I'm not like a big chorus person either, but I feel like the way you kind of navigate that is such a effective way, right? Because like this chorus is kind of just the repetitive, like now I'm in my own world, but it works perfect. And even the first track it worked very well. Also, sir, you're fire. Like your bar work, I was trying to like remember like certain bars to like spit back at you, but every time I tried to remember one, three of them would go by. So I was like, all right, I'm not even gonna try to remember these. I'm just gonna like enjoy the freaking song. C Dub, if anybody remembers any, please.
Wow, you got the Moody Blues reference? Wow, I didn't expect anybody to get that. This is crazy because I feel like it's like, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but when you're writing rhymes, it's like, you're like, oh yeah, they're gonna really like be into that, but like nobody ever says anything about it.
This esoteric reference that I'm gonna make.
They're like, oh, that was cool, man. You're like, don't you understand the thought process? But you guys actually get into it. So,
but see, that's the beauty of it is like if you dig deep and you like reference something or you like flip something in a certain way, maybe 20 people don't get it, maybe 5 people do, but those 5 people who get it are gonna fucking love it. You know what I'm saying? But straight out the gate, you said, what did you said? Something like, I spend time to heckle provocateurs. Yo,
dude, that was my line. Skeptical of professional connoisseurs, like Joe Flaneurs and confessional raconteurs. I get restless and heckle provocateurs. Yes. You look feckless and decollete and pop. Dude, the rhyme scheme, dude, bro.
You also, like,
silly.
Anybody who writes raps knows how. It's the balance, how difficult it is to rhyme so many words in the verse, but still maintain a cohesive and coherent, idea or expression without like wasting bars on like nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And the whole verse, you're just bodying it and flipping couplets or rhymes that like you don't see coming. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes a rapper raps and it's like by the setup of the bar, you like, oh, I know where this is going. I know exactly where this is going. There's very little of those bars. Can you please explain to us the what's happening to this character in this particular?
I kind of got like a Day's Age kind of vibe from the beat, and I thought this would be a good, this could be the second act. It could be the first act. Maybe he started out this way, but my character, instead of just being this hedonist like he is in the first song where he's practicing black magic and stuff and just partying, like here he actually feels like he's kind of like in control of his environment, or he wants to like change his environment, maybe getting involved with some sort of activism or community work. And he's in his own world because he's kind of like, it's kind of like a contradiction because he's in his own world because he's, thinking and philosophizing and, coming to terms with who, how he feels about the world and what he wants to do to change it. But at the same time, he's way more like involved with the city around him and the world, around him, like trying to change things. And he feels very centered. You know what I mean? He's not just living to experience and have these, these crazy experiences. He's trying to actually do something and he feels good about it. So
I remember the bar too. You said something about an architect looking at something. It's like in a dimly lit parking deck or some shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, that was sort of like this idea of like, I mentioned the Enlightenment or just the idea of like kind of like people coming up with their own philosophies under duress in a way. Like, in like an urban environment where you're just like in this hollowed out, brutalist architecture, parking deck, whatever.
Yeah.
Coming up with these kind of like, advanced philosophies, kind of like a hip hop or, I don't know.
So fucking dope. Mazzi, I thought you were outside. I thought you were inside and now you're back outside. Anything you want to add to the? You're on mute. Okay.
I think he gave us. I think he needs a minute to do something. He said.
I think he's just gonna step outside of the.
Oh, okay.
The situation he was in.
No, my bad. I was in a car where somebody's on a clubhouse talking.
Listen, man, it's a city that never sleeps.
It'll the wires will cross. Zoom and Clubhouse can't coexist. It'll explode. The universe will explode.
It's like two different gangs.
Yeah, and the way you would like exactly what Baxter was saying, the way you were breaking it down, man. Holy shit! Like the way I just loved it. Like, yo, this project. I'm only like I missed the first few songs. These 2 songs, I'm like Baxter. I'm not gonna lie. Like some of the projects we hear on here, my one time listening to it is enough.
Yeah,
but this has so much replay value.
Yeah.
So far, and I'm only 2 songs in with this, so
it's also one of those things where it's like the sum is greater than the parts, right? It's like because sometimes like a rapper will come in, the rapping will be good, but maybe the overall project isn't good, or like the song isn't good. But like you guys are bringing the best out of each other on this project, and the production is just so well done. And I almost want to say every song gets better than the one before it, but that could just because like my excitement hearing a new song. But with that said, I believe we're going to a McCallum song. Is this and it's called I Am, which also, can't say I Am without thinking of Nas. But yeah, anything you want to say before?
I always think of the poster, civil rights poster, I Am.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I am a man.
Yo, real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt. Baxter, if for some reason I'm back in the car and I can't answer, I'm gonna or say my piece because of the Clubhouse thing. I'm gonna type in the chat my reaction.
All right, yeah, and I'll read it out loud
if that's the case.
That works perfect, Mazzi. But here we go. I Am, track number 8.
Insidious inside a hideous city that disfigures pretty dreams, mere moments that master bitter. The litter when you walk are the lost hopes of the gods, and I'm a monster in the deep when I sleep, then I'll repent. Been on my own ascension, not rent, job, or a pension. I spent most my attention selling honor to get a mention. When in Rome you find a throne, beware of what omens do. Maybe I could reign if I knew what the Romans knew. A chosen few will stay colder than frozen dew on the frost. You lost if you can't cover the cost of clues. Upon lift off, some get tossed into the stratus, others drop like stones, they lay in a heap of maggots. If we believe in magic, then we can retrieve the stars. I'm not looking at a Facebook for updating my status. So here we are, bright lights and night fights, state mayors and night frights in the den of thieves playing nice. I am falling back to earth, I am falling down the well, I am falling for the trap, I have fallen into hell. I am falling, I am rising, I am falling, I am rising, I am falling, I am rising to the skies, I am rising sunshine, I am rising in the light, I am riding on the high. I am rising, I am falling, I am rising, I am falling, I am rising, I am falling, I am a modern metropolis, opposite of oasis. Positive and negative, nothing will stay in stasis. Impoverished, impossible, ink blots, spot the not so obvious potholes, your sanity getting throttled. Courage in the bottle for many weapon of choice. Knowledge in the needle or pill, control voice. The thrill of learning my curves, convinced that you deserve every square inch, every fire hydrant and curve. You'll barely get a hint of the earth I'm stacked on. Some hustle, even put in the work, but that's gone. Living so deep in the dirt, it's a grass lawn. You think they own, desperate to pop like rap songs. Babylon and non plume, they're coming soon. Strivers on the way, so strugglers make room. Tired from the fire that looms, you turn the views, you were now consumed by the death, nothing that blooms. I have fallen to the depths, I have fallen through the cracks, I have fallen for their act, I have fallen to the black. I am falling, I am rising, I am falling, I am rising, I am falling, I am rising, I am falling. I am rising like the tide, I am rising in their eyes, I am rising to the prize, I am rising, watch me fly. I am falling, I am rising, I am falling, I am rising, I am falling, I am rising, I am falling.
What a spectacularly produced and sequenced album, yo. Mazzi pointed out, he says, the way that you guys start the verse and land the rhythm and stay in the pocket is so on point. And I agree. Like, this is almost a master class on emceeing or song creation. Macau, very dope song. I love the juxtaposition throughout the whole thing. The idea of playing with ideas of rising and falling, right? So it's because it's almost like some people feel like they're rising when really they're getting low. You think you're moving up when you're really getting low, and vice versa. Is that kind of the idea of where you were going with the song?
No, yeah, absolutely, and it's the idea of the balance as well. Like this constant being like pushed and pulled and being attracted to things. So like in that first verse, so maybe I could reign if I knew what the Romans knew. What chosen few will stay. It's the whole idea of like searching, finding, trying to get bigger, falling back, all of those things, getting caught up in the wrong things. And then I kind of personify the city in the second verse.
Right.
To kind of like play that out. And also kind of like how the city has all of these things that kind of ensnare you. But it's not what it actually seems, and it's this constant just struggle, just try to.
And the horn on the beat gives it like a very real kind of like hustling city kind of vibe. Also, it just feels like if your arc is a story in reverse, and the last one or the first one was the character being humbled, this feels very much like his ego, or the ego being like alive and vibrant, a lot of braggadocio, even in like the falling part, it's still almost like very braggy.
Wait till you hear the last song.
So I was
Mazzi,
too. Yeah.
Mazzi also says thank you for bringing back horns, yo, which is like I don't think I can compliment the production on this album enough. This is such a well produced album.
Can't wait for Brian to hear this, man.
So
me too. Yeah.
Change is coming up. That looks like it's a interlude or yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna play that, and then the next song is Sunshine, and that is
Long Division.
Okay. So we're gonna play tracks 9 and 10, Change and Sunshine. Here we go.
Of my childhood, mumbling, stumbling, dirt upon my shirt, stomach rumbling. Don't toss me a glance or look at me askance. I'm paying all my hatred in advance. Patently absurd, I guess nobody's perfect. Worthless, struggling to find a sense of purpose. Caught up in the smog, drifting like a thick cloud of fog. Kicking like a one-legged dog. I stroll past the scenic divide and backtrack. Damn, why'd the situation go down like that? Well, I used to try to think and get it all down with ink. But confusion floods my brain and I remain on the brink. I remember when life was delectable, waxing intellectual, growing my own vegetable. Now the landscape of my mind stays gritty. Pity, can't believe I came back to the city.
It's my life, my life, my life, my life.
In the sunshine, backtrack down while the situation goes down like that.
It's my life, my life, my life, my life.
In the sunshine, backtrack down while the situation goes down like that. My fall from grace was amazing. Went from living right to spending daytime in a basement. Damn, you could chalk it up to a form of self-abasement. Take a walk downtown and contemplate my displacement. Beyond the point of a youthful affectation. Hazy days strung into a permanent vacation. Weary on my feet, I go and take a seat by the fountain. Somebody get me off this magic mountain. Landlady acts suspicious, skittish, nervous. Sometimes I think she fucks with me on purpose. I bet she found my conduct disgraceful, hateful, wasteful, dramatically unstable for the faithful. I laid framework for a plan and then I spoiled it, flushed my whole existence down the toilet. I reminisce upon my legacy, repugnant, disgusted. Watch it all just crumble into nothing.
Sir, Long Division, do you have other albums out?
I'm working on a solo album now, and I have a project with my man Folklore up in Canada that we're working on. You know, just stuff over the years. You know, you could probably. I'm not going to plug anything right now, but yeah, I mean,
I have to do my Googles, sir.
I'm outing them again. So
Stick with
Jock
this
and
one.
Long Division were a crew called the Horsemen back in the day.
Yes, and that was good stuff, and I'm proud of that stuff. But it's just from so long ago that I don't.
No, you listen. I know the feeling of being on the other side of these questions. So no, I'm a fan, yo. I like this might be my favorite song of yours so far. You are super adept at capturing like an emotion, you know what I'm saying, or a vibe. It's like I felt like this was a guy just like strolling down his street, kind of obsessing over his own derelictness, you know what I'm saying? Like kind of like just existing in it and you know, taking a account of what's happened with his life. It's such a dope song, and you're incredibly verbose. Like I love the language that you use. Like I can never guess what like where the bar is gonna end. How accurate is that of a description of the song?
Well, I mean, it's very generous, so I mean, I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I drew from my more than anything. I think in the spirit of this project, like I definitely was thinking about specifically, you know, I mean, this isn't a true story because I haven't lived in New Rochelle since, you know, I was 15, but I was picturing specifically like the fountain in downtown New Rochelle where, you know, kind of like drifters used to chill out, and you know, I was just picturing it being that environment. So, but again, this could have been the beginning of the story, and then he got into activism, and then he decided he was going to get into the occult. Or he could have been into the occult, and then this happened, and then the activism brought him out. Or maybe, you know, it could have been any order.
Could have started with the activism and got into the occult, and this could be his like reflection on. You're very correct in saying that you created these things to be modular. Also, another chorus where like a lot of the chorus is more instrumentation than it is like a chant or you know a written piece. But there was also Roy Ayers reference in there.
Yes.
Are you a Roy Ayers fan?
I wouldn't say that I'm familiar with his entire catalog. That I mean, I'm familiar with certain songs, and that's certainly like, you know, I mean, it's almost like a hip hop classic because Common sampled it. Although last time we were discussing it, the Common song is not called Sunshine. I got a little concerned about it, and then I went and listened to it, and he doesn't include the there's some vocal part that he doesn't include, but Brian really flipped that because that's actually not a sample from the record, and I'm not gonna. Well, you can hear that that's me singing the other part, but but the and I was like blown away by what he did with that, and then you know,
I thought it was a Brand Nubian reference because you're from New Rochelle. That's what I wrote in the comment.
Oh, facts. Is Brand Nubian from New Rochelle?
Yeah, they are actually.
Mazzi, you're the fucking man, yo.
Wow.
Was that intentional? That to kind of like reference them?
No, it wasn't actually. I was thinking more about the comments of Resurrection.
I love it when happy accidents happen.
Yeah, I mean,
you should say next time someone asks you that question, though.
Yeah, that's how everything is intentional.
I wasn't thinking. No, but I mean that's great. Yeah, I mean I love the Roy Ayers song, and I just thought it was ironic because you know this is like Roy Ayers song is very blissful, and clearly the song is not very blissful. And I kind of wanted to hang it around that line from "Temperatures Rising" by Mobb Deep that was sampled in the chorus, of just like, you know, going to the same scene and picturing it. You know, why did it have to happen this way? Because that's like. You know, it's kind of like a One Love thing where it's like a jail story where he's, you know, the song. And so So just the idea of like revisiting the same thing, even if you don't do it physically and going to a place, but just running over it again and in your head, like, why did it have to happen this way?
Right.
You know, but it's a little more vague than a crime. It's just this guy kind of like reflecting on why does you know, just like running over these things, like when did it like go bad for me?
Right. What was the fork in the road that I kind of went the wrong way? It's so dope. I'm almost upset. Is this the last time we're gonna hear you on this project?
Me personally, yes.
Ah, man, I am going to Google Long Division, the artist.
Me too. I got some stuff in the works, man. I'm working on it. So you know,
I'm looking forward to it, sir. Like, I am a fan.
I appreciate that.
You should listen to the, you know, we usually don't big up the album, but like Dan's rhymes on the Horseman are also spectacular as well. Like,
I listen.
It's and Jacques does all the cuts, and he also raps on the album too. So he doesn't want to talk about that, but he's gonna be.
I don't want to talk about either of those things. Not at all.
Although you did bring it up again, so maybe you do.
No.
But
seriously though, Dan's Long Division's rhymes on that, or if you like what you hear here, like you'll love that album too.
I'm gonna ask Mikal to throw it in
dinosaurs
the group chat
and
for
like
me.
weird shit that no one I've never heard anyone reference in any way. It's a good listen, just for his rhymes alone.
I listen. When I say I'm a fan, like I don't do that arbitrarily or flippantly in this space. Like you legit made me a fan in 3 songs. But yeah, we're gonna get to the next song, Icon, which is Macallan. Macallan, this is the last time we're gonna hear you on this album as well. This is a melancholy, a bittersweet thing. But anything you wanted to say about this before we get into it?
If you thought I Am was braggadocious.
I mean, the name of the song is Icon. So yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah. Do you have what it takes to be an icon? Know your face in the darker when lights on. Your own split dancing in your fight In the town of big dreams, but little shot that seemed a little lost, a little off, tossed in the bin with the rest of them. A win is a win, then again it's not. If the stadium's then every possession, I'm taking it to the rim. When you're living on the edge, but the porch is a short drop, you jump, ignoring all of the people that scream and stop. I'm larger than the block, the borough, the brick building, I'm on top. It's a given, I'm a satellite image, set the pictures drop, and the people of Photoshop. The view is due, degraded you do, so it due to the knots, the nothing to slob, the suffering. I'm hovering above the ground, the whole planet I'm covering. Do you have what it takes to be an icon? Know your face in the dark or when the lights on. Your own spirits right now singing your fight song. No boundaries for you, erasing lines drawn. Do you have what it takes to be an icon? Know your face in the dark or when the lights on. Your own spirits right now singing your fight song. No boundaries for you, erasing lines drawn. Sky's the limit, top of the world visit. Better yet, I'm living here. Little pond, bigger fish. Anyone, any wish, pull the trigger silver quick. Every moment, feel the shift. Anyway, I'm built to live. Mortals call it a prime zone. I'm alone in a design that doesn't align with time. Why they call me infinite? Always on the shine and the sun blinding everyone into it. I find that I'm getting bored just a little bit. Puddles I skip, a rolling stone thrown down the road. Went from a clown to the crown prince in an instant. Bleeding innocence, I didn't see you there when I released another clip. Didn't need a reason, didn't really care. Fearless and fearless anywhere, everywhere. You don't compare, perfect to anything. It's looking worthless, yeah. That's what it be like to see the ice that I'm in. I power through like in her dreams at night. I'm an icon. Have what it takes to be an icon. Know your face in the dark, but when the lights on, your own spirit's right now singing your fight song. No boundaries for you, erasing lines drawn. Do you have what it takes to be an icon? Know your face in the dark, but when the lights on, your own spirit's right now singing your fight song. No boundaries for you, erasing lines drawn.
Push up this like an icon. Like an icon.
I can't stop, I got hip hop.
Take a bow now. Push up this like an icon. Icon.
Those who believe ye shall
But don't be fooled by me. Don't be fooled by the face I wear, for I wear 1,000 masks.
I don't think there's a beat on this project that I don't think is fire. This is a feat. Macau, yeah, you were right. Very braggadocio. Hovering above the planet. You know what I'm saying? So in your structure, this was the first part of the story of this character.
So really, I Am is sort of an epilogue. It's sort of like telling sort of the parable of what's to be. Very loose. Icon is like he's left. He's at the top of his game. Off the block is his return. So the heights are the icon. And again, I don't want to speak for Long Division or Tombs, but I think like the story arcs and even just the way the story, it's not as linear as it feels. You're getting like moments and experiences in it.
Yeah.
You're definitely, it's definitely kind of that arc, but like it's not just like A to B.
Right.
But for sure, like this would probably be like the second in the arc of it.
Right. Mazzi says the whole joint is dirty. That was his thing.
Jersey.
The scratches are nuts. Who's doing this? Who's doing the cuts on the records?
That's Professor Brian Oblivion. He's doing the scratches.
Kudos to him, like across the board. Like this is a very impressive and unique project. But like the work he put into this has, like, you guys didn't slack with your songwriting or your rapping. He didn't slack with the production or the cuts or the interludes or anything on this record at all. I can't compliment you guys enough. This is very super dope.
Well, can I just say something? I feel like when you hear dope albums, right? Dope hip hop albums of any era, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're usually looking at dope beats.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And dope run, right? So it's just like I feel like we got really fortunate because one,
dope, yeah.
Giving props to Jacques because Jacques really kind of like brought us all together, but then putting Brian with us, because I know that I was definitely inspired by what he brought us, and it's sort of like, and then the beauty of it was
I'm
like,
inspired, and I wasn't even rapping on it.
Well, and the crazy thing is that so like this record sat for a while. Like we recorded it, it was done, and it sat for a while. And then,
I figured as much because you guys said you recorded it in person, and I was like, well, then that's more than a year ago.
Oh, it's like 6.
Yeah. Wow.
It's like 6.
This is 6 years old? This project is 6 years old.
Something similar to this.
Wow. That puts it a whole other perspective. It might oh man, this is dope. This is dope.
But the sequencing of it we heard later.
Yeah.
So we're just like, he had all of these things, like the little interludes and the little pieces and the vocals and all of that.
I was
going
to ask you that specifically, like the stuff that comes on at the end of the records, was that on the beat when you had it, when you were writing to it, or that's all kind of fit to go with the song that you created?
Those were really like Brian's verses. That was like his contribution from like the vocal tip to me.
Right.
The way I saw it. It's because the beats are great, and then he came up with these interludes that actually kind of threads. Like when I heard it, I was like, oh, this is how all of the story gets threaded together. And even just like the vocal samples that he uses in between songs are specifically highlighting like themes inside the song.
I agree completely. Even if it's not like a literal sort of like seam, it like the in emotion and tone, it like takes you from the point that you're at to wherever the next point is supposed to be. But I wanted to go back. Long Division, at the end of, I think it was Galaxy Rays, right? You have like a verse that's not a verse, right? It's kind of like you're almost. Is that a freestyle?
No.
Okay. I appreciate the honesty. I love it though.
It was, I think initially it was on like the demo, and then I was like, hey, let me,
let me flesh this out a bit.
No, and then I was like, there's specific De La Soul references in it too, and I kind of I love stuff like that in creating a song, because it almost feels like, how rappers, when the song is over, they kind of just like
they say a few things, but it kind of feels like flippant like that. But then like you're killing it, and it goes on for so long. It's like, no, this is like a third verse. It's so dope. It was like one of my favorite things on the song. I forgot to mention it. I was like, I'm going back to mention that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We also had the powerful thing that we didn't mention.
Oh
That's
yeah,
on
you
that
guys
song,
can tell me now.
right?
Wait.
Go ahead.
So there's an ad lib in Galaxy Rays where it's like powerful. So when we first started, because we're doing this in Google Hangout, and we were just, the funny thing is, and you know, because you're an MC and you've been in the studio, and everybody on the Zoom is artists, and you know what it's like when you go in the studio. It's not like business where you're like, okay,
yeah.
You joke around,
right? Because if you try hard, you die hard.
Exactly. So like we there was one point where like Google Hangout had the little reaction you get in Zoom, and like everybody would come in with the whole thing. We were playing around with shit. So I don't know what the joke was, but like. It was Mtume, I think, that said powerful after like everything, and it made its way onto Galaxy Rays. And then like when we recorded it, like we all were like saying it as like the ad lib because like shit would happen in the Zoom, and all of a sudden something like powerful.
That's hilarious.
So like that just became like the running joke in like all of the sessions when we were doing it.
Did you guys? How many sessions did it take for you guys to record the whole project?
One. We recorded it.
You recorded this whole thing in one session?
But Mikal, didn't you did one additional one, right? Because you were.
I think I did Icon because Brian wanted me to change it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yo, this is a hell of an impressive endeavor. Like I am, you know, I mean, you know, Mikal, like we know people who rap. Like we don't rap. Like, but this
we're on EO Zoom. This is like the home of rap.
This is so fucking dope. All right, so Nostalgia is gonna be Sir Toombs, and then we have Promises, which I assume is an outerlude.
Yeah.
So we're gonna listen to both of these things, and then we'll do an what do you call it when you leave a job? You do the
exit interview.
Yeah, exit interview and offboarding. But is there anything you guys want to say before we get into presumably like the last song on the project?
I just want to say I appreciate y'all. This has been fun. This has been fun dropping this.
It has been fun. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I do appreciate this.
Same here. I mean, I've known about End of the Week forever, and you know, I'm very familiar with your acumen as an institution, really. So I was kind of like you know, holy shit, I can't believe we're gonna be on this. I was almost like, fuck. I mean, these guys are gonna dissect my shit, but like, it's been really dope, and
I mean, we did.
What'd you say?
Is that we did dissect it?
I know, but I thought more with the intent of, you know. No, seriously, it's been really dope, and I don't know. I feel like this record is really good, and I hope that it, you know, I hope that it becomes kind of like part of the fabric of this time period in a way that good albums do when they're released. I don't know. I
mean, I hope so too. It is very good. It's also very like consistent. And I've sort of said it before, but like none of you guys slacked on this, or maybe slacked is the wrong word, but like you all shine. You know, the production shines, the verses shine. I don't, you know, a lot of times on a collaborative effort, there might be like one person who kind of like edges out it as like the I mean, you guys.
I think everyone has a moment. I think it's all
right. And I wouldn't be surprised if each of you feel the other person did it, because you like there's like the production that was chosen is so perfect for each of you guys that like yes, Mikal, like Icon is a fantastic song, but it's not more or less fantastic than Galaxy Rays. It's just different, you know. And they're both so enjoyable, and they both display who you are as individual MCs. The only thing I would say is missing from this project is a posse cut. I so want to hear you guys.
So you're not the first person. Real talk, you're not the first person to say that. We did it. Shout out the Box Media and crew. We did an interview a couple weeks ago, and he was like, "This is a dope project, but why isn't there a group song? Y'all need to do group songs." Like that wasn't the idea.
No, and I appreciate the dedication to the original sort of architecture, you know? It's like, and also an album like this, there's not a lot of references. Like, what other album is sort of like this, where three MCs create one body of work separately together?
I was doing the same thing recently. I was trying to think of something to compare it to describe it to somebody on the text message, and I couldn't really not Prince Among Thieves because it's not that at all. But
right, there's nothing
like
you can
compilation, yeah.
There's nothing you can kind of dial this back to, which is fantastic.
Well, I'll say this. I feel like for one, I think my favorite song was "Candles" on the record. Long Division's track.
You got busy on Candles.
Candles is dope, and I've been saying it forever. Like the rhymes, I am fucking. I love your rhyme. I'm honestly on Icon. I was trying to figure out how to.
Yo, I felt that, Macau.
Because I'm like, what are you
doing?
That.
But I was like, this is not the usual Macau we're getting.
I was
he's trying to go. He's trying to go Super Saiyan 2 right now.
but I'm saying it to say what I remember, and it was a while ago. But what I remember. And what it always feels like, because I still hang out with Jacques. I see him all the time. It's been a while since I've seen Long Division and Brian, but it was and why this project is so different is it was organic. We knew we were gonna do a project, but we were like, we're just gonna kick it, throw some stuff on, work, but we weren't like, okay, so we need this amount of, we knew we were going to do 3 songs each, but we're not like, okay, so this has to have a certain thing. We're like, no, if it feels dope, do it.
And it also doesn't feel like you guys are competing with each other either. How you say, the inspiration was there, and inspiration feels evident, but it doesn't feel like any, because
I think we felt a little. I felt a sense of urgency with trying to make it good because I know these guys are fucking nasty.
Right.
I had to do something good. But I didn't feel like I wanted to be better than them at all. But it was just more like, fuck. Because I used to play. Jacques and I had a radio show too, and I used to play core. When tunes called Core Rhythm, I used to play some of his shit. It's funny you said the Public Enemy thing because he had a song that was almost like a Public Enemy homage in a way. But I used to play that a lot. So and Macau, I've seen him freestyle for 45 minutes and not miss a bar. It's crazy. So for me, it was like fuck. I gotta really come with something here.
You guys did it.
Thanks, man.
On that note, let's get to the
planned. It was all planned, man. I want you all to have this secret competition.
The Diddy.
This is fantastic. Let's get into nostalgia and promises. This is track 12 and 13. Also, 13 is my lucky number, so I'm happy about that as well.
And if these walls could talk, tales be outlined like ghost bodies in chalk. And if these walls could talk, tales be outlined like ghost bodies in chalk. And if these walls could talk, one foot in front of the other. Troubled terrain got me all staccato like Scudder. Stretch sticks wish I could bounce like a rubber, but in this mix I tend to drown and with smother. When each step is like a stairway to loss, and every sign reminds you of cost. Back on that block where lessons were stopped, and every crash course would teach you to drop. Some rows above knew that limitless ain't just for white cats and movie business. Rolling down Cooper Street where Jenny slit her wrist. I hear she doing better now, glad that Reaper missed. Sight all different now, lost and had to pause. Parks were rebirth, life now turned to shopping malls. Tear ducts going Niagara Falls. The effects of causing its laws. Been around the planet twice, 2 tours of duty, 1 spot to give me life. Broadway at night where the posse unites. Lassoed by stereotypes of gunners who fright. Dog tags, herringbones, Adidas on stripes. Sun, the city lights coalesce in our plight. That alleyway or palisades, we shared studies, told tales we told. Shorthand, we spoke grungy like my man Donovan first. With opposite sex, reported back each step, life school in effect. Far from perfect, but perfection nonetheless. Gave me my breath and the soul that I possess. Far from perfect, but perfection nonetheless. Gave me my breath and the soul that I possess. And if these walls get tall, tales be outlined like those bodies in chalk. And if these walls get tall, tales be outlined like those bodies in chalk. And if these walls get tall, tales be outlined like those bodies in chalk. And if these walls get tall.
Yo, what a phenomenal project. Mazzi said a fantastic outro track, undeniable work. The interlude was a cherry on top of the cake. He also said he wants to rap on the outro. Incredible work and bravo. I have to,
Thank
you. mirror those sentiments, reflect those sentiments. Such a enjoyable listen.
And that saxophone, bro. When the saxophone is played right, it's unstoppable. It's one of the most lethal instruments.
Glad you enjoyed the meal.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Seriously.
Yeah.
As C-Dub Scott pointed out, I know for a fact I'll be listening to this album again. The format of the show is the format of the show for like reasons. But if I could have listened to it ahead of time, we would have been here for 2 hours talking about this project. Which there's just so much to break down. Thank you guys for bringing it to us here at Listening Sessions. Please let the people listening out on Facebook, on Twitch or YouTube know where they can find you individually, also where they can find this project. Let's start with Mikal, Long Division, Jack, and we'll do Sir Tume as well. Sir Toombs, sorry. Mikal.
Yeah, for sure. And I also want to say, too, so you can get the record at dupo.bandcamp.com, dupo.bandcamp.com, and 100% of the proceeds are being donated to Equality for Flatbush, which is a community grassroots organization working around a lot of anti-gentrification and community projects.
So dope.
In Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So not only is it dope music, but it benefits the people in Brooklyn, specifically, in the Flatbush area.
Now you're really speaking my language.
There you go, Brooklyn all day. So you can find me at freshfruits.bandcamp.com, fresh like groceries, roots fresh.bandcamp.com. I have a track out, COVID-16, which also is dedicating 50% of its proceeds to various charities as well. I'm coming up with a new project called America with a side group called GOP, Gorillas on Patrol. It's basically Run the Jewels meets Public Enemy meets Hired Gun. And yeah, I'm also coming out with another project, Spectrums.
Hardest working man I know, yo.
Some of the production by my lovely wife, Miss Dale Novella, who is on the call. Some other artists as well. And yeah, but look for that stuff later in 2021. But COVID-16 is out now on freshfruits.bandcamp.com. And I did release an album, The Passport, right before the pandemic, which features artists from like 7 different countries, from places that I've toured. Really, really dope artists and dope music. So definitely check that out.
Facts. Yes, sir. And again, on social medias, if you McCalamine, they can find you, right? If they look for McCalamine. MAKALAMIN. Long Division, how are you, sir? Can you tell the people where they can find you if they are
I'm
looking
great,
for
man. I got to tell you, I'm a little bit out of the loop in terms of plugging. I mean, the music I was involved with for the past few years, I was playing bass in a rock band.
That's dope as fuck.
Yeah, actually, someone mentioned, Kate mentioned in the chat, the bass line in that last song was great, and I felt the same way. I'm working on a solo album now, and I'm rhyming on it, and I'm playing bass as well on all the songs, and I'm making all the beats myself. So
What's the name of the album? Do you have a name for it?
Yeah, I'm still. I mean,
That's the name right there. I don't know yet.
I don't know yet. It's still forming, but like, it's weird. Like a lot of it just started coming together kind of naturally, and I decided I'm going to handle all the production myself on this release specifically because it's something I've always wanted to do. And yeah, so I don't know. I'll be in touch about that. I don't really have any way to get in touch. I'll just stay in the shadows for now. And I'll plug Toombs because he put out an album. He put out like 2 albums last year. He puts out so much shit. And
he's putting out a lot of stuff.
And they're dope.
Yeah.
One of them, I don't know if Mikal is on it, but there's a bunch of people on it. Like it's crazy. Like Homeboy Salmon's on it. Like Ty from the Bush. I mean, it's like
shout out Ty from the Bush.
People. And as well, he had an instrumental album which I really enjoyed as well.
Oh yes, I did see that he put that out recently.
So yeah, I mean, people, check those out on Spotify, and I'll be in touch about the solo shit that I'm coming with. So
yeah.
What about Professor Brian Oblivion? Where can we find him at?
Yeah, I'll plug him. You can find his stuff on Bandcamp. So under Professor Brian Oblivion .bandcamp.com. Same thing with Sir Toombs, sirtoombs.bandcamp.com. Yeah, Brian's stuff is all on there. You probably can't see it because it's a little too dark, but he has like these really 2 great like albums with just beats. The first one, I always forget the name, but The Dark Realities of the Moment. Or
I'm for sure going to check out his
yeah,
beats.
definitely check that out because even that one, like you'll if you love the way like this album sounds, or like how it just like it sounds like one whole like mixtape, then those albums like have the same sort of feel. That's part of the reason why I thought he'd be great for this project.
No,
I've known him for a while, but
so dope.
Shout out to you, Jack, because this was perfect. Like you sourced prime ingredients. You know what I'm saying, for the delectable auditory masterpiece that was constructed. This was fantastic. Where can people?
But these dudes get all the credit because they're all masters of their craft and diligent about performing well and doing well. So they get all the props. But
you know what they do say: teamwork makes the dream work. But Jack, what about you? Do you besides Puffy producing, do you put out music?
Not necessarily, but something I'm and we being like a small team of other people are thinking about just like maybe trying to create a smaller label to help people push out projects. So part of the package, because I'm a designer and I like putting things together, is just one, designing the album cover, and then also making sure
I was just about to ask, and I was complimenting this album cover. I love it. I think it's so dope.
Oh, thanks. Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah. So just working on album covers and also like working on the whole package, like making sure the album like sounds like moi to the person's ears. So
Yeah.
That's sort of what I'm trying to focus on in the next oncoming like music projects.
Right. Mazzi, if you can, is there anything you want to say before we bring the show to a close?
Can I mention one thing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
go ahead.
I'm really sorry because I really want to plug Brian's stuff, and he's not
Of
here to
course.
do it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to do it for him.
Let's do it.
Give me a second.
Let's plug away. Plug one. Plug two. Pasta news.
Yeah, because there's another
the same thing when you said
album that he's working on. So like, yeah. So I mentioned this one, the first one, right? Definitely get that.
Yeah.
So,
a lot of
Dark
clarity.
Realities, Dissertation, which is his second Beat album. Definitely get that.
Dissertation, such a dope name.
And then his latest one, which isn't out on, it's not digitally released yet, but it will be soon, is Oblivion. Oh, sorry, Villain and Oblivion, which is more like an R&B, like funked out R&B album.
Mhm.
Which
I didn't know
is
about
dope
that.
too.
Did you do the cover for that one too, John?
No, I didn't do the cover of this one. But this is a new one that's coming out soon, like very, very soon.
Super dope.
So yeah, he has like 3 albums, and hopefully he's gonna be coming out with some more releases. So definitely check his stuff out.
Definitely. Once again, thank you guys for rocking with us. Mazzi, final wisdom for
Listen, keep up the good work. This is, this momentum has to keep going.
Yeah.
All the projects you guys said you're about to release, make sure you release them and make sure they have the same fucking firepower this shit does. This shit is bananas. And I'm sure you can holler at me or Baxter for any features.
Yeah. That is true. If you need a couple of extra bars, but no. Once again, this has been a fantastic project. Shout out to Manny Faces who just rolled up in the room.
Antarctica's next, guys. Antarctica's next.
Facts.
No, me and Mazzi are already working on that one. We got that one. We're working on it.
But thank you guys for rocking with us. This has been Listening Sessions in the EO Zoom. If you like what you saw, please tune in. We have other fantastic programming on this channel. If you like the freestyle, we have Frio Dubs on Thursdays. We have an open mic every Sunday night. We have Baxter and Dama doing whatever they want with ISO Boom, etc., etc., etc. You can find this information at EODub on Instagram or EODub.com. But as I always say, we wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for Vice Verses. So everybody, if you could just throw up 2 V's for Vice Verses. And thank you guys for tuning in. And we are going to be out, although I don't see James. So